What's going on, y'all? What's going on, man? Let's talk about these quarterbacks. We counting down. I believe we got a what? 1 week left, 8 days left till the NFL draft. What they say is gonna be a movie, huh? It's gonna be a movie, like what Neo said. We just making a movie. Let's talk about these quarterbacks. These quarterbacks. Looking at these quarterbacks was quite interesting. Quite interesting, nonetheless. You know, I was engaged. It's a lot to look for, especially when not all the time I got the all 22 view, but there was times where I was able to come across the all 22 view for some of these quarterbacks, and I was able to get a real in-depth kind of look at, like, okay, is they really them dudes, or is they trash? You know? And even if you ain't even though we do the most with what we have with the film that we have access to, you still can get an accurate depiction about can this player play ball or not. Let's just be honest. You can. You really can. So, you know, sometimes you can think too much about a player. And there was a player where I kind of thought one thing, looked about thing. I'm like, then I look again. I'm like, yeah, that's what I originally thought. I gotta go back on my first thought. And we're gonna talk about that player today. Y'all know I did 10 of them things. It was cool looking at these quarterbacks, though. Now I did start on the tight ends at the last position. Then, as mentioned before, if you guys have any requests, you can go ahead and request them. But we here. Let's go ahead and begin. So the first quarterback that we did was Caleb Williams, USC, 6'1", 215. Now, Caleb Williams, I put, is weak-minded. Let's be honest here, right? You know, I try to keep things football on this page. I don't like to go ahead and go outside the rims, outside of football too much, but there's times where it's necessary to go ahead and do that. And talking about Caleb Williams is definitely a time because we're scouting here. And one thing about it is, I'll be honest with you, I don't want no quarterback who paints his nails. I think that's soft, and that's me being nice with the words that I'm using right now. I think that's soft. I don't want no quarterback, you know, who act like he shoots a three-pointer and keeps it there like he switched it and he didn't even shoot a basketball, if you know what I mean. I don't like that type of quarterback. I don't want no weak-minded quarterback. You know, there's at times where I don't like his body language. I don't like his body language. Like, you know, he's always looking at the teammates at times when things go wrong, like it's their fault. Now, granted, they had a lot of drops because I watched a lot of quarterbacks that, man, they players was dropping things that, like, they had some mediocre weapons, and Caleb Williams definitely has some mediocre weapons. You know, and them boys really had a drop. Like, I don't even see the hype on Jerry Rice, little boy. Like, if we being if we being real, but yeah, there's times where I don't like his body language. I think he's weak minded. You know, and not even going towards he was crying like it's football. Like, if you lose, I mean, I understand, you know, but it seems to me like when he was crying, like that cry was kind of more wasn't towards the loss. It was more tied like that it was heavy on him. There was a lot of pressure on him, you know, and I think he kind of folded under pressure, you know, what the media gave him, you know, because the media done crowned this man the greatest thing since Patrick Mahomes, pretty much. And I think that's what he kind of folded in. And although the arm talent is there, and you definitely can see the talent on him, that mind is everything. If you don't got it in your mind, it don't matter what talent you got, because there's another talented quarterback that I think is a better that had one of the better films. And they came from the same school, and we're gonna talk about that too. But let's get into this, man. Caleb Williams, he definitely makes plays with his legs. He extends the play. He has a good arm strength. Makes throws on the moves. He adjusts angles on deliveries well. Now, I put when you hit him, he gets the feeling the Holy Ghost. Now you know you over here at church, man, and all of a sudden, they somebody get the good news like Paul, and, and they get that thank you, and they start stomping their feet. Now that's when Caleb Williams got that contact on. When they coming at him, he kind of get the feeling the Holy Ghost, that Holy Ghost power. but but about him though, I do question his pocket presence. His accuracy at times is inconsistent, but at times that boy is on the money. That's for damn sure. And every time it'd be like, "What the hell are you doing?" Be times like, "Damn, man, that boy made a play." Now, ball security is lacking some. One thing I like about him is he's accurate off his back foot. Now, people have been blaming the offensive line, talking about his offensive line is trash. But although I can agree with that, but if you that guy, it don't matter because there's a couple quarterbacks that we're gonna talk about that also had a trash offensive line, and they was able to maneuver better. So the over your career, you know, right, which they expecting him to have what at least a 10+ year career. So they say you're gonna have times where you ain't gonna have all the weapons that you would like. So you have to go ahead and make the most of what you got. And if things got to be perfect, which won't be realistic, then you're not who you then they're not who you think that that he is, right? But he's a 3-level thrower, short, intermediate, deep. He's a 3-level thrower. I did see they condensed some of that playbook though, but he does throw a lot of flat passes and curls. His processing is not up to par at the moment. He got to stop being greedy at times and take what the defense gives him. Right? He got a sense of being greedy at times. Sometimes it's cool to live another day, right? And I know it's kind of like hit and run. Like sometimes he gonna go ahead and make that play. You're like, damn, hell yeah. But there's sometimes it really bites him, and he takes like a long sack when he didn't really need to, when he could just throw it away. He is erratic at times. He lacks fundamentals, but he's talented. That's for damn sure. The tools to be good is there, but I just question the mentality in his approach to the game. I call him when I see him when he was doing some of his best work. I call him RPO Williams. His wide receivers, like Maya, she got the case of the X. His wide receivers did have case of the drops. He does throw behind wide receivers a lot. There was one throw I'm gonna hold it against him. It was a touch throw against AZ's Arizona State. I'm gonna hold that against him. But I kind of question him. Like I said, I see what everybody else see. I see the talent. The boy can run. The boy make plays, right? But I just question that mentality. Will it translate? You know, will he be able to go ahead and do what's necessary? You know, or is he gonna feel entitled and be soft? We're gonna find out. We're definitely gonna find out. But on to the next quarterback. Y'all, I really was watching these quarterbacks, y'all. The next quarterback, Drake May out of North Carolina, 6'4", 230. Now, in North Carolina State, when he was going against North Carolina State, his accuracy was not good. A lot of potential interceptions. He is a mobile quarterback. He'll go get the first down. I don't believe he has a strong arm, and he's not accurate to me. He can extend the play in the pocket, but he has no pocket presence. His ball placement is trash. He's a 2-level thrower. 2-level thrower, meaning short to intermediate. You're gonna hear me talk about that a lot. But he's a 2-level thrower to me. He panics with pressure. Um, he makes dumbass decisions. He just not it to me. I don't think he can handle the pressure. He ain't got no field. He ain't got no field vision. I don't like Drake May. I seen somebody say that Drake May was probably one of the better quarterbacks. That's a goddamn lie. He's trash. That boy trash. Damn, did I even make a top five for this one? I probably didn't even get to make a top five for this one, y'all. But y'all know I'll go ahead and y'all know I pretty much got it in my head though. But Jaden Daniels, LSU, 6'4", 210. That's cap. That boy ain't 200 pounds. That man, he thin. Then you can go ahead and his thinness impact some durability. Don't know. We'll find out. Now look, now with Jaden Daniels, I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of expecting to see maybe a lightweight scrub. He was kind of better than what I thought he was. He's special with them legs though. He a playmaker for sure, right? What a lot of people are going to envision Lamar Jackson with him, right? And a lot of the things as far as how he see things and what he does with his legs is Lamar Jackson like, right? And so I'm not saying that you're gonna get Lamar Jackson, because there's things that Lamar Jackson do that mentality wise that probably a lot of these quarterbacks can't do. But as far as similar skill set, you can say that he does. He does throw a good football. I actually give him Lamar Jackson treatment. He needs a playbook designed to his strengths, running game, weapons, especially a tight end. To me, he's probably going to seem like even though I did at times see him go through some progressions at times a little bit better than other quarterbacks, he's probably going to be one of them 2 reads and go type of quarterbacks. He's a half to field scanner. He's probably going to RPO people to death. He does have solid accuracy from what I've seen, even though there was some basic throws that he had issues with regarding ball placement. He needs to develop as a passer. He's always in a hurry to escape the pocket. He does have a solid touch on the deep ball. Teams will try to make him beat. Teams will try to make Jaden Daniels beat them from the pocket when the money when money is on the line, right? Like what the Kansas City Chiefs did to Lamar Jackson, right? Right. See, we got to understand that some of these quarterbacks, right? It's kind of like Dak Prescott. Some of these quarterbacks are going to look excellent during the regular season, but when the money gets on, when real defenses start to go here and really, really do what you're supposed to do, taking what they do best, they don't have no counter, and they don't have the skills to pay the bills. And what you see, even though we like Lamar Jackson and we think that he a special quarterback, when it comes down to him reading defense and him being an efficient quarterback of scanning the field, his skills are not up to par, right? He's special with his legs, but his decision making and his ability to scan is just not up to par, and that's what you're gonna see with some of these quarterbacks. But he does need to know when to zip it and when to have touch. There was times where, especially in the intermediate throws, that I would expect for him to have more zip on that ball, and he didn't have zip on that ball. So I'm gonna need him to go ahead and work on that. He does need to work on stepping up in the pocket a little bit more. But other than that, I could see why they talk about mocking him number 2 to Washington. Them legs, him escapability, his ability to be a playmaker with them legs, that's what's probably gonna get him to be a number 2 quarterback. Taken off the board. All right. Next quarterback, JJ McCarthy, 6'3", 202, Michigan. So what JJ is also one of them weak-minded ass quarterbacks that we talk about. Hearing about his background and seeing what he do and seeing how he gets down, he seems very weak-minded to me. And I don't get why anybody would think that this man will be a top 5 or top 10 quarterback. I'm just being honest with you. We got to keep it a stack. JJ McCarthy is not what these boys say that he is. I promise you that. His Bama game, his Alabama game was one of the best competition that he went against. And that Alabama game was absolutely trash. Yeah, they won, but it was trash because he was also going against another trash ass quarterback. But that's going to go ahead and we'll talk about that when he come out. But his vision is trash. He's not accurate. Uh, he clumsy. He can zip it though. He mobile. His throwing IQ is not good. Best thing he did was hand the ball off to Blake Corum. We just being honest here. He could throw a strike at times, but that's it. This is all I have to say about him. I don't have nothing good. He's not proficient as a passer. He gave me like Jake Locker type vibes, if we just being honest. Like, I don't see nothing good about him. And if a team take him in top 10, you need to fire their GM. And that owner, he should sell the team because it's just absolutely stupid to draft JJ McCarthy in the top 10. Just being honest. Michael Penix, Washington, 6'3", 213. That boy throw dimes. Now, Michael Penix, that boy steps up in that pocket. Only top QB I seen do it. And I said top QB. He's a lefty. Seems like he didn't want to get hit, though. This is my thing on him. It seemed like he didn't want to get hit in that championship game. You can't be scared to take no contact, especially in the NFL. There's going to come a time where you're going to have to show your heart. You have to show that you can stick in that pocket. It just ain't going right. And you're going to get smacked. Is you going to just fold up and you're going to just be scary and throw that ball and then fall down out? No. You got to have heart. You got to be able to take a lick and make that throw. You better get in the weight room or something, man. You better go eat some burritos or something, boy. That championship game, even though it was better than what most people will give him credit for, you could tell he was rattled. He is accurate, though, and he's good outside the numbers, throwing that ball. He buys time in the pocket. He's a pocket QB that can run. He fits the ball in tight windows. Beautiful deep ball. Moves around in the pocket well. He's a 3-level thrower. Hopefully somebody can quicken up his release, his throwing motion some. But, when we see other people throwing motions, they probably leave it alone. But it'll be good if you can get with a QB quarterback that can tighten up and quicken up his his throwing motion by a couple points. He is willing to check down and throw the ball away, which is crucial. He is a good decision maker. He does have injury concerns, but he has the best ball placement of all the so-called elite QBs that they talk about that I've seen. He has the best ball placement because you can see one thing. You even see that in the NFL. You see them. The ball placement is trash. Throwing it behind, like they'll throw a flat pass and the running back got to go ahead and reach behind him to get the ball, which is taken away. It could be something that could have been a 4-yard gain ended up being like a 2-yard loss because the ball placement was trash, right? So one thing about him is that he gonna go ahead and throw that ball and put it on the money. But my thing about him is because I also got a confirmation when I was watching him against Oregon, that contact may be a little questionable for him. But I like Michael Penix though. To me, that's QB. I'm gonna give away one already. This is QB1 to me. They're gonna, in my opinion, that they need to make a QB. Forget all that. Hey, you're right. You're right. You're right. Especially if they're not gonna roll with Lance. You're right. I agree. Bo Nix is the next one. Bo Nix, 6'2", 217, Oregon. I'm gonna be honest in regards to what's going on? They're gonna feel like they always do. Yeah. Bo Nix, 6'2", 217, Oregon. I'm gonna be honest with you. Bo Nix ain't learned nothing from Auburn. He is the same Bo Nix. He was just in a better scheme to go ahead and try to mask some of his flaws. We're just gonna be honest. Bo, he's mobile, but he's a one read. We call him just like we say one read Dak, one read Bo. He's trash. Trash ball placement. He's a backup quarterback. Ain't no starter. All that time in college and still can't read a defense. He does have some arm strength, a lot of quick throws. He can improvise well. When he's open, he can throw a good ball, but you ain't gonna always be open. He does got happy feet in the pocket. He does kind of feel the Holy Ghost a little bit. Uh, he does have some accuracy issues when facing tighter windows. That's a problem. His field vision is terrible, especially against Texas Tech. If you want to look at that Texas Tech game, um, if you like Bo Nix, look at the Texas Tech game. It was trash. Uh, Now let's go ahead and go to the next one. I ain't gonna have too much good to say about Bo Nix. So he was short and sweet. But Spencer Rattler though, 6'1", 217, South Carolina. Y'all know I'm very familiar with Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler had to grow up, and you could tell he growed up some. You know, Oklahoma. You could tell that he just wasn't all the way there mentally or where he should be as a quarterback. Um, Probably one of the best things he could have did was go to South Carolina, even though the situation he went to wasn't better than Oklahoma. But this is what I got to say about Spencer Rattler. This is actually one of the two quarterbacks that I think, or at least from the 10 that I watched, because I'm pretty sure that these other quarterbacks that I probably like Michael Penix, I mean, if these GMs do their job, Michael Penix won't even be there. Like, if we being honest, like Michael Penix should really be the number one pick. If I'm the Bears, I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. He really should just be the number one pick. Like, you need a quarterback, right? Not just for the season, but you need a quarterback who's gonna be money in big time games, right? And Michael Penix showed he done whoop Oregon ass twice. He beat Texas. Now Michigan was gonna put it on him, but you know, even if he did have a better game, they still was gonna lose. It's just Michigan was just built for that real football. That's all. Uh, yeah. So let's talk about Spencer Rattler real quick. Uh, but Spencer Rattler made some nice throws under pressure against Georgia. He will escape the pocket. Will use his legs if he has to. Make some dangerous attempts at times, though. He does step up in the pocket. One of the best QBs I've seen in going through his progressions. I've seen him scan the full field when he had time. He showed some poise in the pocket, will escape pressure. His own line was trash, but he did well for a trash offensive line that he had. He can throw on the run. He put some nice touch on the ball. He was in a bad situation, but he did look to make the most of it. Spencer Rattler got good ball placement. Nice arm talent. He a talented QB. Now, he does have trouble with undercutting defenders downfield. He does have trouble. I don't know if he's seeing it or whatever the case may be, but I've seen him struggle in a couple games, even in a couple games that I watched, even though I watched more than a couple, that he kind of struggled with these undercutting defenders. But he is one of the better passers. He is one of the better passers in the draft. Now I've seen it's crazy. Like, just before I got on here, I seen something talking about Spencer Rattler is a day 2 pick. In this draft, that's correct. That's correct. Now the thing with Spencer Rattler is mentality. Is he ready? Is he ready to go ahead and put that work in and to really grow as an individual, as a quarterback? And if the answer is yes, you probably got you a starter. You know, because he got the talent to do it. The talent was never the issue, right? Good ball placement. He's a good quarterback. The thing is his mindset. His mind is what's going to hold him back. So if his mind don't hold him back, a team probably about to get a starter day 2. Let's do for the Dallas Cowboys. Like, if they don't have no say, because like we heard like the Dallas Cowboys was needing a quarterback, right? Like, they had interest in a quarterback, right? Spencer Rattler mid round would be somebody that I would feel comfortable the Dallas Cowboys getting if Spencer Rattler. Now I know the Dallas Cowboys don't know nothing about mentality. We can see that. But if Spencer Rattler can take that next step mentally, I think a team will have a starter with Spencer Rattler. No LT, no center, no running back. Parson like he got smaller. Oh, for real? I ain't even check him. Caleb Williams is SD. Yeah, we talked about. Oh, he got smaller. Ooh, yeah, that's not good. That's not good, especially man. And you would think somebody like Micah would do better in having a little bit more bulk in him, especially since these people think he at the end. I mean, yeah, I don't think that's a good decision for him to even be smaller than last year. Ooh, that's not a good decision. You right, Lord. It's gonna be interesting. This gonna be interesting. This is definitely gonna be interesting. And all right, it's cool because I was eating dinner, right? I was just eating dinner, and I heard the Stephen Jones. I heard the Stephen Jones on 105.3 the fan clip. From what I got from that, as far as when he made a statement talking about Cowboy Nation, uh, is not too familiar with what they got in house in regards to the offensive line. Are they telling me that Brock Hoffman is the leading candidate to be center? That's what kind of popped in my head, that Brock Hoffman might be the leading candidate to be center at this point. They may think that he probably could be better than a lot of centers in the draft. And and y'all remember when we did our interior alignment, I think the Dallas Cowboys can come away with a quality center in this draft. So this is interesting. You know, this is gonna be interesting. And the after the 10, 11 tackles that I watched, only seen two of them that you can say bona fide left tackles. So if left tackle is going to be a priority, which we seeing as far as Terrence Steele, well, let's go. It probably should. They might need to get aggressive in going after a Guyton or that BYU tackle, Kingsley, because them is the ones that I can confidently tell you, oh, them left tackles right there. The other ones is like, yeah, you might kick him inside a guard. He probably be a better right tackle. Them two is like, yeah, them gonna be some good left tackles. Jordan Travis, 6'1", 212, Florida State. I like Jordan Travis. Now I know he got an injury, but I like Jordan Travis. The things that he was doing kind of gave me, like, let's say, Trey Lance vibes, right? Because let's like I said, you don't have to be, especially in this day and age, you don't have to be a full scanner of the field to have success at quarterback. Like you see what Josh Allen and them doing. You don't have to be a full scanner of the field to be successful in this league at this point in time. It's mediocre. So that's one thing I ain't got to worry about in regards to a quarterback. But it'll impact you in the postseason, as we have with Four, as far as his ability to process and scan down the field. A lot of people don't talk about that, but a lot of that is what's hindering us. And that's what's going to hinder the Bills, especially if they ain't got no, you know what I mean? No real wide receiver right now, because they're going to go for it in the draft, though. But Ricky with Allen, yeah, good luck. But I like Jordan Travis, right? This is my thing with Jordan Travis, right? He's a mobile quarterback. He throws well on the move. When he scrambles, he keeps his eyes down the field. I like that. He throws a good jump ball to Coleman. At times, he misfires on the deep ball, but overall, his accuracy was solid. He gives his wide receivers a chance on pretty much all the throws. Uh, you can give him design runs. He improvises well. He has good enough arm strength. Sometimes he locks in on his wide receiver, but you can coach that. He looks like, at this point in time, for what I've seen, more like a half the field reader at this point in time. He needs to. I think it probably would do him good to sit for at least a year, maybe two. But I see potential starter in him, especially the way the league is moving. As mentioned earlier, I do see potential starter in him. Uh, I've seen him make some tight window throws that was beautiful. A lot of the damage was on two levels, the short to intermediate, but he does throw like there was a ball that he threw deep and it was up the seam versus LSU. I believe it was to Coleman. It was a pretty ball that was on point. He makes plays with his legs, QB keepers. You could do all kind of things with him. I like him. I think he's a potential starter. Also, if I'm the Dallas Cowboys and I'm looking at quarterback, he will be on my radar in the mid rounds. I know he got that injury, and so I'm probably sure that's probably gonna put him down some. So if they not gonna do nothing with Trey Lance, say for instance they feel like they're gonna trade him or whatever the case may be, this is a quarterback, even with Trey Lance, that I probably would consider bringing in. Because what's the worst thing gonna happen? Let's say for instance that gone. Say for instance Trey Lance is your quarterback. At worst, this man is your backup quarterback. You know, so especially with the way the league is going, what you need, I like him as a quarterback, especially when you got Lamar in them, like, and he's shown that he could be a playmaker with his legs. You know, he's seen that he can improvise, and I think he's solid. But on to the next one, Michael Pratt, Tulane 6'3", 220. Now, if you guys remember, I made a post a couple of days ago in regards to this. All right, I wrote a lot about him, so bear with me. This is one of the quarterbacks that I had kind of got mixed little things in with. So forgive me if I repeat myself when I give you my analysis on Pratt. This is interesting, and I'm gonna tell you why. But first, I'm gonna tell you how his aura, his confidence, the way he plays, and the way that Jerry sees how the quarterback position is going. I would not be surprised if Jerry Jones draft him. But we got to understand this. This man gives you, just think of Josh Allen with him. Just think of Josh Allen with him. Let's get into it. So Michael Pratt. Up to this point, he was the only QB I seen take a snap under center. So solid mobility. He ran a lot of short yardage, like Josh Allen. He ain't shifty, but he can get you the first, and he a straight line runner. He'll stand in and take a hit from what I've seen. He has a good arm. He got Josh Allen decision make. When I say this man is Josh Allen, Josh Allen I don't know if you said it, but Josh Allen got to be his favorite quarterback because I see a lot of Josh Allen in him. He gotta be his favorite quarterback. He can improvise. His decision making is very questionable. At times, he doesn't read the field well. He don't read the field well, y'all. He doesn't read the field well. He's one of the very few QBs that will rip that ball in the tight windows. He can make some touch throws. Somebody is probably going to give him a chance to shine as a starter in this league. He will take off often. He has good traits to work with. He gave Tulane a ranked season and beat USC. He got Josh Allen vision and accuracy. His accuracy can be erratic. but he could throw that ball, y'all. He does, like I said, he got accuracy issues. He's confident. You could tell he's confident, and he could tell, and he feel like he that one. This is somebody that we encourage Dak Prescott to eat some fried chicken. Seeing that man over there in Louisiana, I'm not surprised if that boy got some fried chicken on him. If you know what I mean. I ain't surprised, man. He telling them to go ahead and dish the Ambrosia salad, and he coming through like Dirk the Whiskey with some fried chicken, if you know what I'm saying. But his anticipation is slow. If it ain't there, he taking off. He a read option quarterback. A lot of design runs. Ball placement can be better, especially his deep ball accuracy. He tends to underthrow the deep ball at times. I put he can have success in the NFL because it's watered down. He looked above average versus North Texas. That was kind of concerning to me. I expected some. See, when I got a quarterback who is a potential NFL prospect, one of the things that I want to see is you dominate inferior competition. And one thing that I see in regards to him is that he was just above average against North Texas. He struggled reading the defense versus non-competition. He don't get credit to me for USC because their defense is hella weak. However, since a freshman, from what I've seen, he's been since I've seen him being in college, all the teams that it was time for him to play up to, he's went against Oklahoma his freshman year, USC. He led Tulane to be a ranked team, a good record, and he's won his bowl game. His game was raised up. Like he came to play, right? From what he do, he came to play. But so that's encouraging, right? Even though at that time when they gave Oklahoma work, Oklahoma defense was trash, right? They had Lincoln Riley led, like it was trash. He's kind of careless with the ball. He needs a condensed playbook. I put he might produce during the season like Dak Prescott, but being a winner at this point in time, I don't see it. So probably what you're going to get from him potentially is Josh Allen, right? But the thing about it is you're getting Josh Allen in the fourth round, the third, fourth round. Somebody may take him earlier, but I probably would assume that he probably would go in the third or fourth round. I think somebody going to give him a chance to start. I honestly do. These JJ McCarthy's, these Bo Nix, he definitely better than that. My thing is that he can't read a defense, right? He gonna see it. If it ain't, he gone. Like no patience, no poise. Like his processing ain't up to par. But he gonna take off a lot. He probably gonna run just as much as Josh Allen gonna do. So I guess some of that can be compensated. See, some of his ability to read the defense, just like everybody else, like Lamar Jackson, is compensated when you take off. When you're willing to take off and make plays with your legs and you got a little cannon on you. Because I think they says he got small hands, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not too worried about that. I believe Joe Burrow got small hands, and the rest is history on that. But I just think if he does have success in the NFL, it's going to be season-based. He probably win a playoff game or two. But I don't see championship unless he just have a good situation because of his ability to read the field, which is going to probably hold his team back. Unless he just improves. All right, our last one. And then I kind of want to talk to y'all real quick, just for a little bit. Because I was going to do a separate live. I'm like, you know what? We're going to do the quarterbacks first. And then I got this on my mind that I want to talk to y'all about. I want to talk to Cowboy Nation real quick. But Sam Hartman, 6'1", 212, Notre Dame, accuracy issues. He makes some ill-advised throws. He's got okay mobility. I didn't like how he looked under pressure. Seems like a backup QB to me. Ball placement not standard. Uh, not up to standard level. I mean, I seen him under center. So there's another quarterback that I've seen under center. Because we don't see that often nowadays. He underthrow a complete what I put. Oh, he underthrew a completed a boot throw versus Louisville. He will dime you with no pressure, like another quarterback we talked about. We'll go through progressions, um, full field with some time. He makes some solid throws outside the numbers. He is a two-level thrower. I kind of question his deep ball, but yeah, that's pretty much it in regards to Sam Hartman. But yeah, the quarterbacks is interesting though. If the Dallas Cowboys right is going to go ahead and go to this quarterback route, um, if they go Spencer Rattler, Travis, to me probably though Travis will probably be one that I would really be interested in. Seeing as he's probably gonna have to have a red shirt year. I'm pretty sure a team like the Giants is probably gonna take Spencer Rattler. Uh, but I also could see somebody like Jerry Jones and Steven, especially even for color reasons, why they would go Michael Pratt. We just got to be honest. I think probably for color reasons, they probably would go the Michael Pratt route and the way he plays. So I wouldn't be surprised. Don't be surprised, Cowboy Nation. Don't be surprised if we make a trade to give up next year pick or a player, and we get a couple mid-round picks, and one of them picks is quarterback. Don't be surprised. But all right, this is what I want to talk to y'all about real quick. Now, let's just be honest. Yep, Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones don't know nothing about football. I was listening to them talk. And I was thinking, I'm like, what the hell is this man talking about? He don't know football. But let me tell you why he don't know football. Let me tell you why these individuals don't know football. So we've been mediocre for 30 years, right? We didn't have a few teams that probably should have went deeper than what they should, right? But this decision making to help get us to the promised land is why I think that they don't know football. Right? So I want to go over a couple players real quick. Let me pull up this roster. Let me pull up the roster. I'm going to tell you because when I see them, it's going to pop up. It's going to pop up what I wanted to talk about. Give me a second. These boys don't know football. And we gonna Devin Leary. I didn't watch them. But I can watch them though when we go through the tight ends. Like I said, if that's requested, I'll go back and watch them. After we finish up the tight end because all we got left is the tight ends. We did more players than last year. So our draft because one thing we're gonna do our draft party though. We doing our draft party. So our draft party gonna be interesting. But all right, this is what I want to tell you. Let's start from the quarterback. Dak Prescott. We understand we ain't got to get into what Dak Prescott is. But the fact that you let a quarterback stay this long and you pay him this much money for somebody who has proven to you was not a winner and you keep on to him because you're scared of whatever the case may be, you don't know football. Your approach, see you got to lose an approach. You don't know football to me. I'm gonna tell you why else you don't know football. You paid Tony Pollard $10 million. You paid Tony Pollard, who your other running back coach told you that he wasn't a full down running back, but you decided to make him on anyway. Everybody and their mama knew that he wasn't a 3 down running back, and you kept him as your 3-down running back the whole year. You don't know football, Jerry. You don't know football, Steven. How you don't go get a banger? Everybody been asked what we say. At least what Derrick Henry. You know the running backs are like Jacobs. Everybody we knew that we needed a running back, but you was insisted on us rolling with TP for $10 million when we could have went cheaper, when we could have just really let TP go earlier. So we spent $10 million for him to go to Tennessee. For not, you could have, we didn't have to franchise tag him, but we did. It was a waste of a year. It was a waste of a year. Yeah, yeah, look. Definitely check out Devin Leary. I think you'll like the kid. He got it. Okay, I'll check him out. Devin Leary. All right, I'll check him out. You paid Michael Gallup. Everybody, and it's my thing to tie back in with TP, right? What's one thing these young people want to do? Be running backs, quarterbacks, wide receivers, right? So you're going to always have your chance to draft a running back, a wide receiver, and possibly a quarterback, right? Even if you don't find your franchise quarterback, you don't just stick with a quarterback just to stick with him. You should always be trying to find the best option that you can find. And the Dallas Cowboys definitely could have went with other options that was better than the current option that they got. If we just have to be honest with this situation. So you brought Gallup in, who we all knew was trash, especially my people up over here. We knew that he was trash. They try to give him a year. I'm like, all right, I'll be patient. Y'all remember the video? I was like, all right, I'll be patient. I'll give him one more year. He had a worse year pretty much than he did coming off injury. So you pay him 12, 13 million for a number 2 wide receiver at best, when you could have went on ahead and got that same type of wide receiver for cheaper, whether it be in free agency or even in the draft. And then you rely on Tolbert, a rookie who is a number 3 at best, to produce for you. And he didn't produce for you. And it put you back some. Make that make sense. Make that make sense, Jerry. Make that make sense. Because it doesn't. You draft Luke Schoonmaker in the second round. What did you see about Luke Schoonmaker for you to draft in the second round? Nothing. You draft Mazi Smith at the spot that you drafted him, which I was kind of, why would you do that, right? When we had Nolan Smith there. Y'all remember? We were shocked as hell. Here's my thing. So you knew that Dan Quinn was your coordinator, and you knew that's the way he's been playing, even though that's what the Cowboys needed, is Dan Quinn going to use it the way. Even Steven and them said it, like the way that Dan Quinn wants his nose, that don't really fit Mazi. But the way Zimmer uses his nose, that will better fit Mazi. So you knew that. So then why reach for Mazi Smith at that point in time when you was under the impression that Dan Quinn was probably going to be your coordinator for maybe at least another year or two? Well, you gave him the contract. Make that make sense. Don't know football. Don't know football. Do not know football. You get punked with Zach Martin to get more money out of yourself for him to have his worst season as a Dallas Cowboy. Let's make that make sense. You don't address the linebacker position, whether that was your doing, Dan Quinn's doing. You don't draft the linebacker position, and you was seeing the same thing that we were seeing. Like, why the hell did you have Damone Clark and Marquise Bell being your starting linebackers? We never got it, and you still, and it's madness. Like, everybody else seen it, but you didn't see it. You don't know football. And for us to, and I don't think I even said this, but why would I go ahead and rely on Damone Clark to be a linebacker to make impact when my lasting impression on him is a linebacker with no heart that got drove back 30 yards into the end zone and got pancaked by Dion Dawkins. How could I go ahead and have trust in you? Absolutely not. And they was getting ready to put all their trust into a rookie linebacker. They brought back Leighton Vander Esch, who we even knew from the previous year, like, let's not do this again. But they did it again. Let's make that make sense. Now all of a sudden Zimmer come back. Now they want to go ahead. I seen it. They want to go ahead and make Marquise Bell a safety now. You roll with Neville Gallimore as your backup D tackle. You got to see so-called beefy boys. You got Mozzie when he was big. You got Hank. You had Osa, who does his dirty work. But you chose Neville Gallimore over Tristan Hill. Now, I know Tristan Hill kind of, but Tristan Hill was a better option, facts, than Neville Gallimore. Then you had trouble. You get banged up. You put all your eggs in a basket with Hankins. He get hurt, and you bring in Carl Davis. And this is just all this year. This is just all this year. This ain't counting all the other moves that didn't work out. This is all just this year. And now your mishandling of Michael Parsons, you done made this man a defensive end, pretty much. Let's face it. You're paying him like a defensive end, and you made this man who's what, 240 pounds, a defensive end. Make that make sense. Since Sean Lee, make that make sense. We ain't even gonna talk about how they try to make Jalen Smith into a traditional linebacker. Like, how do you see Michael Parsons and Jalen Smith is damn near identical, even though we're not talking about talent-wise, how they are as a player, like a hybrid player, they're identical. So you went on ahead. So you like, oh, we messed up with Jalen Smith. We made him a linebacker to go ahead and mess up with Michael Parsons to make him pretty much a 98%, if not 99% defensive end. Make that make sense. Michael Parsons is like the dude from the Giants, from Clemson, the hybrid player that could play linebacker and safety. He a player like him, even though we're not playing Micah as safety. He's like him. You put Micah in a position that's needed for that specific game. And that's going to require for your defensive coordinator to do some game planning. Now, here's my thing. I'm not paying top dollar for a person that doesn't have a primary position. I'm just not doing that. I'm not paying top dollar for a hybrid player. But for some reason, your Dallas Cowboys is probably getting ready to play top dollar for a hybrid player. That if you say, what is his best position? All you can just say is, oh, he's a football player. So you can't, so he's not a good Mike. We know he's not a good Mike because he's scared of contact. He don't want to take on no blocks. We know he's not a defensive end because a real defensive end is going to play the run and set the edge, and he hasn't did that a day to save his life. He's just an athlete that's using his athleticism to get to the quarterback. But we're going to pay top dollar for that. We're going to pay Dak Prescott damn near $60 million to beat the Giants every year. When we had Cooper Rush do the same thing, beat the Bengals, beat some of these good teams when Dak was missing. That didn't tell him something? Cooper Rush had a game where he had 15 attempts or something like that and won the game. That should tell you something. Why go ahead and pretty much invest in all of these resources into a quarterback that's not a winner? Let's be candid on this. People talk about Jared Goff. Jared Goff kicked the Dallas Cowboys out the playoffs. Jared Goff has been to two NFC championships with two different teams in a Super Bowl. How many has Dak Prescott went to? And we can't talk about the talent. Let's look at the talent. I'm glad you asked. Okay, he had the wide receiver. What's his name? I can't think of his name right now. But who else was he throwing it to? He had the tight end and the wide receiver. That's it. His backup was what? Reynolds? He had a run game. Yes, we admit that. But he really only had two weapons on the outside. And one of them was banged up. And they really should have beat the 49ers in an NFC championship game. New team, new weapons, same production. That's interesting. That's interesting. Who's the more talented QB? Well, we can say Dak. But who's the better QB? We can't say Dak. Because even though Dak may got the athleticism, he may got the mobility, he can make throws on the run, yada yada yada. But there's one thing that Dak is missing, and that's in the mind. And that's where Jared Goff is killing him at. That's where he's killing him at. That's where Kirk Cousins is killing him at. Kirk Cousins is a better quarterback getting paid 40-something million with the Atlanta Falcons. So not only is Kirk Cousins going to walk in and see black people at the Waffle House, but he getting 40-something million to be in Atlanta. While we paying him 60-something million to do what? Come on. Yeah. Yeah, using him as a spy. I agree with that, Doomsday. I agree with that. I agree. I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. Use him. Whatever the game plan needs him, that's how you use him. You know, for that day. If it calls for him to spy Lamar Jackson, then he need to spy Lamar Jackson. You know, something like that. Like, all right, Michael, we see you. You got this responsibility. If you ain't got, you go, but you need to watch Lamar Jackson the whole game. You keep Lamar Jackson ass in that pocket. That's what a real defensive coordinator gonna do. And that's what Zim need to do. Because if we don't see, y'all remember this. If we don't see something like that, because that's a good point, Doomsday. If we don't see game plan specific things from Michael Parsons week in, week out, even Zim ain't doing no coaching. Even Zim ain't doing no coaching. So we look at all this and we looking at where's Waddle. We like, what's going on? Why we ask our question, why the Dallas Cowboys can't win? But then when we answer that question, we go back. Well, we got an owner who's a good owner, but we also got an owner who's a trash GM. And then it looking like we trying to put the team in the hands of his son, who also suck as a GM. You know? And they say, oh, Will McClay. Okay, Will McClay, you done brought some Pro Bowlers in there. But to what, though? In this mediocre ass NFL? But is these Pro Bowlers giving us results that we need? How the hell we got all these Pro Bowlers and we done got all, and we supposedly be saving money by the way we draft, but we still can't win? He can't hire a good coach. He don't know what the team need. No, none of that. He pretty much damn near, this man to say, hey, Mike McCarthy, in your last year, I'm going to give you another new defensive coordinator. We're not going to bring nobody in free agency, and we're going to try to address everything through the draft and maybe make a couple trades. And we're going to put you in there because we wholeheartedly believe in Mike Zimmer can go ahead and turn this team around by just his mind alone. That's what they basically saying to us. We don't have to go ahead and expend all these resources because we believe in Mike Zimmer. That's what they saying. That's what they saying. That's a tall task. Mike Zimmer was out here. He was out there chilling with HBCUs, out here giving chalk talks. Mike Zimmer was out here, man, eating eggs and bacon and orange juice and chilling and pulling up at the HBCUs at 10 o'clock in the morning with some greasy ass fingers. You know, he was chilling. Now all of a sudden, hey, here comes Steven. You want to make another stint? Was it the third stint with the Dallas Cowboys? Yeah, man. I was hoping you called. Man, this is going to be interesting. I can't look. If I'm ever excited by a draft to see what's going on, I'm excited about next week's draft because I'm going to be able to answer every question that you may have after this draft. Probably the most important rounds is going to be Friday and Saturday. That's the most important rounds. Not this first round. To be honest with you, like I said, here's my first round candidates off the top of my dome. Darius Robinson, Kool-Aid, Graham Barton, Tyler Guyton. Them is my options. If I don't have them options, let me trade back. That's where I'm at with it. And that's what I'm standing on. I think it now it comes to a point, right? Look at how the Kansas City, right? Especially you see the way that everybody doomsday. You see the way that everybody out there building a wide receiver core, and you got a corner whose best position is probably inside, and you got Trayvon Diggs coming off an injury. And we need to figure out, okay, so how good is these corners really are? Because the pass rush is probably going to be a little bit down. Now we expect the run defense to go up under Zimmer, but the pass rush, even though we still couldn't expect to have a pass rush because Zim had pass rushes, but the pass rush is going to be a little down. I'm with Kool-Aid. I think Kool-Aid a bad boy. And if you're not going to really replace and have an excellent pass rush, then shoot, why not have an excellent secondary? One thing the Chiefs have, right, they pretty much only had maybe about 2 rushers. They went deep on the D-line, but you know what they had? Some hell of a cover guys back there who was locking stuff down. That's what you need. Had a linebacker line. The linebackers didn't play too well, but they had hell of a cover guys. So that's where I'm at. And right now, when you look at our safeties and our corner situation, I say it's more realistic to have an elite secondary than to kind of go back into having our elite pass rush. Yeah, but I think they still need to go ahead and bring some more fresh legs up in here, though. You know. But we finally have somebody that's going to hit. That's going to hit. Like, when a lot, like Loke said, we ain't had a linebacker since Sean Lee. I know y'all remember the game where Sean Lee pretty much damn near single-handedly won against the Philadelphia Eagles. Y'all remember that game? I think this was with the DeMarco Murray. That man pretty much damn near won the game on his own. That's what a real linebacker gonna do. we ain't seeing that play right now. Woo! Now you talking my language. Now you talking my language, Doomsday. Now you talking my language. I still don't get it. Why these people keep talking about Peyton Wilson when that boy Eichenberg is the best linebacker. Is the best linebacker. Number one linebacker numero uno. But they talking about a Peyton Willis who sucked against Notre Dame. He sucked against Notre Dame. But they gonna look at him because he could run fast. He could run a 4.4, 4.5. So, can you diagnose? Can you hit? Man, if y'all want to see anything that represent what Eichenberg do, when they talk about that Wisconsin running back, was it Braylon Allen, who I think is soft as hell? Look at how on that goal line, on that fourth down, how he got off that block in the goal line, got off the block and smacked him and stopped him in his tracks. That's what the Dallas Cowboys need, a football player. Facts. Oh, yeah. You feeling me right now, dude. You talking my language right now. That boy can't read nothing. But they out there hyped with him, talking about, oh, he's a first, second rounder. How? He ain't even a true Mike. Him and that other Mike that they had sucked. Peyton Willis, if you're going to play with Peyton Willis is more of a 34 outside linebacker than anything. I would try to develop him as a pass rusher more than I would sit over there trying to make him a middle linebacker. He can't diagnose nothing. When you go ahead, let's say if you sent your car for a diagnostic to Peyton Willis, you ain't going to get your car back to about 2 years. He can't diagnose nothing. That boy ain't making no, come on. Facts. That is facts. And they be like, oh, man, leave this to the professionals. The professionals ain't professionals. That's what I keep saying. These professionals don't know no ball either. They be like, oh, he's a professional athlete. So? That don't mean he know ball. That don't mean he know ball. There's experts, man, that ain't playing no ball. That's watching y'all play ball that go ahead and see what y'all can't see. This going to be an interesting draft. This is going to be an interesting draft. I've stood out. I'm looking, man. I'm like, man, come on. And just like with Jer'Zhan Newton, the production is there with Jer'Zhan Newton. He just ain't got no first step. So if you ain't got no first step, how you gonna cook in the NFL without no first step? The Texas D tackle got the first step. Darius Robinson got the first step inside. Darius Robinson pretty much had 8 sacks as a defensive end. And then they telling me that ain't going to translate inside. When he whooped on the Kansas State guard, when every time you see him inside, he getting up the field and getting pressure. That boy could play football. The Dallas Cowboys would be a fool to pass up on him. Sure, I would expect somebody like Kool-Aid to go earlier than we picked. Shit, I really would expect somebody like Tyler Guyton to go earlier than we picked. But if for some reason Darius Robinson is there, well, the Dallas Cowboys would be a goddamn fool to pass up on him. They'd be a goddamn fool. I'd be like, man, I hope they seeing what we see. This draft ain't as good as last year's. That's facts. It ain't as good as last year's. Last year's was night and day better than this draft. But there's some prospects, though, especially in the middle rounds, that can contribute to your football team. There's going to be a whole bunch of people who reach on these players, who won't get what they think they're going to get from these players. I hope a team reaches on a Peyton Willis in the first round or something. I hope that. I hope these GMs make dumbass decisions. I hope. But we got to hope that our Dallas Cowboys make the correct decision. Gotta hope. Gotta hope. 8 sacks. Been getting the edge at times against tackles. 8 sacks at Missouri. If you can get the edge on the outside, you telling me that you can't sit over there and get upfield on a guard who's less athletic? Even though these tackles is being guards now, come on, man. Hey, cooking. Got the length. Come on, man. He cooking. He cooking. Hopefully they do. Because there's a couple corners that I like, even if they didn't. Hey, somebody like Rakestraw, say for instance, all the players that was gone, man, I would trade back all the way to the back end and acquire picks. I'll get somebody like Rakestraw. Rakestraw can play football. That corner from Missouri, Rakestraw can play football. Rakestraw can play football. We gonna see. We gonna see. I'm itch, man. We a week away. We a week away. We a week away. This is big. This is probably this draft is bigger than last year's as far as the importance for the Dallas Cowboys. I promise you that. Because by the end of this draft, you're gonna figure out, okay, what direction is this team gonna go? Is we in a rebuilding phase and we didn't know? Or is we really gonna compete for something? We're gonna find out next week, y'all. And I can't wait. We're gonna be up close and personal doing our draft. I can't wait for the draft party, y'all. I can't wait. Because we're gonna talk. I'm gonna make sure I get a good night's sleep the night before, y'all. I'm gonna make sure I get a good night's sleep. Like I gotta take a test in the morning. Because I'm excited. I can't wait. I can't wait for this draft, y'all. But anywho, man, I'm about to get up out of here. I'm gonna continue to work on these tight ends. I'm not gonna do as many tight ends as we done with all these players, because what I want to do is I'm gonna do a few tight ends, and then we're gonna go backtrack on these other positions that we think that the Dallas Cowboys may need, that we probably should go even deeper in, so we can know maybe what they're gonna do in the 5th round or 6th round or something like that, y'all. So that's where I'm at with the tight end. Because I looked at that Kansas State tight end. He was the first one I looked at. He sucked. He sucked, y'all. That Kansas State tight end, he sucked. So, hope, and plus, I don't think the Dallas Cowboys need a tight end, especially if they could probably be patient with John Stevens, because he coming off his injury. You got J-Hop, and then you got Schoonmaker that you done put a 2nd round on him. You got to give him another year. Like you invested a 2nd round pick in him. So regardless of what he do, you got to give him another year, because that'll be a waste of a 2nd round pick to draft somebody in the 2nd round and trade him for a 5th or 6th round in the next year. That don't make no goddamn sense. That don't make no sense. So you got to give him another year. So tight end is nothing that we really need. So that's why I'm just gonna do a handful of them, and we're gonna go and we're gonna look at more. But yeah, so that's where we in. We here, y'all. We here. Cooper Beebe. It's a big that's a big guard. You powerful guard right there. Big strong guard. That's one of them box eaters right there. That's a strong guard right there. But all right, y'all. Till the next time. We gone.